Jessica, we're expecting you to clap along.
Oh, I am.
Hey everybody, this is season 2, episode 12 of the Microphone Insider Video Podcast with your hosts Jim Frank and Rebecca Lee. In for Rebecca tonight, me, Terry Briscoe. As always, we'll be joined by Mike Cunningham. Tonight's guest is a veteran of the industry for more than 20 years. Voice actor, dubbing coach, casting director, and lover of all things blue, Jessica Blue. Grab a drink and a comfy chair and come on in. Welcome to the Inside.
That's right. We're here. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. We're Rebecca Lee-esque.
Leeless?
Leeless. That's the word I'm looking for. Leeless. We're less of
We're
Lee.
Leslie.
Yeah. We're unlee-like. Whatever the case may be. She's on a beach somewhere doing something. I can only imagine. You know what I mean? It's the way she is.
Living the dream.
So, yeah, pretty much.
She's actually a part-time crab fisherman, so she's out there with the waders and pulling in crustaceans for all of the community.
Okay.
Hey, Tony.
That's nice. Hey, what's up, Tony? Hey, this is the Microphone Insider, TMI. We have a great show tonight. I say that every other week, but we have a real good show tonight. We have Jessica Blue on with us. And if you're into the dubbing thing or want to get into the dubbing thing, have questions about dubbing, this is the person to ask those questions. So if you have questions, be sure to put them in the chat and put a Q in front of it or the word question. This way we're able to see, I'm able to see that it's actually a question and not you guys just jibber-jabbering back and forth, which is cool, too. I mean, I actually enjoy watching the whole conversation going on. It's kind of distracting for me, and that's why I make mistakes. So any mistakes I make, it's your fault, not mine.
Did you take that verbatim from like a Dave Fennoy podcast? Like it's just kind of a script that he writes what he says every week?
Maybe Dave took it from me.
Maybe.
I mean, I did notice once I started putting colors and frames and things on the show here, Dave's like, hey, I like that. Show me how. And I did. And now he's like, he's got a kind of decent thing going on. So anyhow, you have questions, put them in the chat for us. Let us know. We're going to, I guess, get things rolling tonight. Might as well. I mean, it's glad to be here. Not much really going on. We have VO Atlanta coming up, in 2 weeks? That's insane. Mm-hmm. That's insane. I still don't know how we're going to pull off doing a live broadcast yet, guys, but we're going to work on it. It probably won't be on Thursday. And
there might be a tech guy or two there.
Yeah.
Right, but it won't be on Thursday, though, just because they have the opening ceremonies at 7, and there's a lot going on. And I think for us to try to squeeze in and do an hour show before or after would just be too much. So maybe sometime Friday night, maybe, who knows? It could be next Tuesday. You never know.
Live from VO Atlanta. We've all missed our flights.
Yes. Live from VO Atlanta, taped in Billerica, Massachusetts. All right, cool. Let's get things rolling. Should we start with Terry or go with Mike? What do you think?
Just get me out of the way. Just end it already.
So go with Terry. Gotcha.
Oh, God.
Terry can cook and you can too. His friends are his reason to bring food to you. Chef Briscoe Power, bringing dinner to yours and mine.
I love the last shot. Mine!
I can't
Mike,
even hear it anymore.
Mike, I think you may have a cavity, dude. I'm looking in. Hold on a second.
Maybe we can get in there.
Zoom in there a little bit there. What's going on?
There's too much beauty. That's what you're seeing.
All right. Well, if Terry can cook it, you can too. Terry, you didn't give me all the cards this week, but that's okay. We have the ingredients in the final. And I guess the instructions are pretty self-explanatory on this one.
It pretty much so, yeah. So in honor of today's guest, I created the Blue Angel. So you need 1 shot of blueberry liqueur, 2 shots of vodka, and 1 shot of white grape juice, and 1 lemon. You want to add all of those into a shaker and shake it for 1 minute. Pour over ice and garnish with a beautiful lemon twist, and then you get this beauty right here.
Now, two things. I don't have a shaker, and you need to turn up your microphone a bit. You leaned back after we did mic check, and you're a bit soft. That's all. If you would. All right, cool. This is the final. Oh, did you make the little squirrely thing too?
Of course I did.
No, you didn't. Your wife did that for you.
I know how to make squirrely things.
Prove it.
He's pretty squirrely.
Go get a lemon right now. Come back and show us how to make squirrely things, if you would, please.
Okay, you wait right there.
I will.
All right.
Cool. We'll be back after
All right,
this
dead air
message.
for a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of dead air,
It's just hot air. It's not dead. Hi. We're here to talk about tech stuff. And if you have dealt with Source Connect before, now you have to deal with Source Connect 4. They are now doing their introductory sale, which is for the next version of Source Connect. It doesn't require any port forwarding or any of the other kind of interesting IT stuff that you used to have to pay somebody like me to set up for you. It is pretty cool, but it introduces a bit of a different kind of payment structure outside of the normal subscription. So you can still get a monthly subscription, but if you buy the permanent license, or if you have the permanent license already, they're tacking on a yearly upkeep fee in order to, somehow force a permanent license into a subscription model in some way. Anyway, if you buy it currently, you will lock in a lower yearly fee as opposed to waiting till past, I think it's something like the next middle of the month or so. It's only currently about $105 for a renewal right now. Afterwards, it'll go up by a fairly significant amount, I believe. I could even tell you, and I'll post the link here. It'll be $145 later on if you don't get it sooner. That being said, if you don't already have it, you don't use it or anything like that, I would just do the subscription, get yourself set up with it, get it going, and then just cancel it until you actually need it. All you really need to do is have it set up and bring it back when you need. If you already have a permanent license, get ready. You're locked in. But anyway, on to greener pastures of tech.
hey, can I ask a question about that real quick, Mike? Because I have the license, but I haven't done anything at all. Like I haven't upgraded or talked to them at all since I bought it like a year and a half ago. Do I have to do anything?
There is a bridge that is being set up. There's a beta that you can do to kind of like test this thing out. 3.8 and 3.9 are still going to continue to work, and they're going to make a way for them. Yeah, I have 3.9 as well. Mm-hmm. They're going to make a bridge. Well, they have a bridge to make them kind of work together. But Source Connect 4 in and of itself is a completely different product. And my understanding from what I've heard from the rumblings is that everybody's going to eventually be on Source Connect 4 no matter what. So, yeah, there's some information on the website. I'm going to post, like I said, I'm going to post a link to it up in the chat. And that should pretty much cover it. If you message them directly, like just send them an email, they are super responsive. And I'll give them that. The customer service there is pretty great. I've had them call me, stuff like that. They walked me through it originally. And I will post that in here. There we go. And, okay, anyway, better stuff. Portable storage, or just storage for your computer, because a lot of us buy Macs and it has like hardly any space. There's some good sales right now on the Samsung T7 2TB portable SSD. It's a gig up and down transfer rates. Samsung makes really reliable, decent storage. I would highly recommend them. It's down to like $130. Storage is so cheap anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna post the link for that from Amazon into the chat. And I found that Dell currently, if you were looking for a dock, USB-C dock to plug in and expand the ports for your computer, they have a refurb sale going on right now with another code on top of it that makes them all pretty cheap, and they all come with an as-new warranty through Dell. I've personally, whenever I buy PC stuff, I always buy through the Dell Refurbished store. It's pretty great. I will put a link into that for that here. I would recommend getting the WD19TBS. That is going to be the Thunderbolt equivalent. That is going to be a little bit better. And actually, I might have to put a different. I'll work on that code because it's a little too long for YouTube's comments at the moment. Additionally, there is a decent sale from Best Buy for MacBook Air M2s 16 gigs. They're down to $699, and I found the M3 with 16 gigs of RAM down for $799, which I think is a pretty good buy if you're looking for a new Mac and you want to keep doing that kind of stuff. And that one's too dang long for this too. We'll find better links. I'll put them in there for you.
Why don't you post them on the Facebook group page, and they'll be there.
Oh, yeah, we can do that too. I'll just put
great.
I'll make it like a Bitly link or something like that. But yeah,
Awesome. All right, Mike, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
and I think in the future we should put pictures up of what you're talking about. So if you
Yeah,
have
we
stuff
can work
already,
on that.
just send it to me, and I can
if you could find a way to get me organized enough to do that, that would be like really helpful for everybody. But I think it's highly unlikely that I'd actually do that.
Fair enough. All
We'll
right.
work on it. We'll work on it.
Very good. All right. Well, let's go to the comments before we bring on Jessica. You can do it. Oh, don't. Okay, you can do it yourself. That's the Terry can do it thing, I suppose. Let's see here. There was another one. Oh, Tony, we need a music video for the theme song. I'm thinking maybe like a Pete Townsend.
Oh yeah,
Terry can do it.
I'm talking full on like shirt half open, chest hair going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I won't cut my hair for another couple months, and we could let it like flow in the breeze. A little glitter under the eyes.
Get the mullet going, dude. Maybe braid the
Yeah.
beard or something.
Oh yeah, like total glam Viking. I think that would be the aesthetic we need.
Viking glam. Mike Cunningham, the glamorous Viking.
Hey.
Well, it's Tony approved.
Oh man.
And Tabs is with us too.
I heard fog machines.
What's up, DF? Raising in the house. All right, let's get to our guests. I mean, it's already 11 minutes past the hour, and we haven't talked with our lovely guest
Wow, I
yet. So,
bullshit
Terry,
that much, huh?
if you would do the honors, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tonight's guest is a highly respected voiceover director known for her keen ear, creative direction, and ability to bring out the best in voice talent. With years of experience in the industry, she has worked on a wide range of products, from commercial campaigns to animated series and video games. Her expertise in storytelling and performance coaching has made her a sought-after director for both emerging and established voice actors. Tonight on the Microphone Insider, she'll share insights into the world of voiceover direction, casting, and what makes a performance truly stand out. Welcome tonight's guest, Jessica Blue.
Yeah, I have an applause. Here we go. And if you haven't noticed, Jess, we went blue with our set today. So we went.
Yeah.
We went.
I love
blue.
it.
I think it's blueberry blue is the actual color. Terry, could you boost your volume up just a little bit, buddy? You seem to be just a bit much better. Cool. Jess, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. This is
welcome.
great. If you guys have any questions for Jess, by all means, put them in the chat. Hey, Carlino has a real good idea for the video. He wants fire and fog machines and everything. Yeah,
I'm down.
So
I was gonna say, you need guy liner for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guy liner
Guy
for the
liner.
glam
I didn't
glam
think that's a
Viking.
thing.
Guy
Okay.
liner.
We need braided
Yeah.
chest hair.
Oh yeah.
Going all in.
No, what? See, the real thing to do is to take the beard and incorporate it into the chest hair, just for a
Yes.
solid braid all the way down.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's
Okay.
terrifying, but it's
Yeah.
also kind of awesome.
That's a
I'm just
choice.
saying.
That's a
It's a
choice.
strong
sure.
choice. It's a strong choice, Jessica.
I don't think I can get that vision out of my face now. This is terrible.
Ditto. And also, Terry, I would drink that drink in a heartbeat because it looked delicious.
Thank you.
Coming from a lady who had 17 margaritas last night.
Wasn't 17?
It was 19. I'm sorry.
I lost count after 3, so I don't know how many it was. It's all good.
Gonna have to take it back. The visuals. My eyes. Sorry, Tony. It is what it is, my friend. It is what it is. I'm not quite sure what tab means by this, but we'll just go with it. Bold strategy cotton.
Oh yeah. Let's see how it works out for him.
Do you understand
That's
this?
Oh, you don't remember that's from Dodgeball.
Oh.
You don't remember that? Never mind. Now we're just vamping for nothing. Jessica,
What
how
year
have you
was
been
that?
since Mavo?
I don't remember that much, so we're good. Anyhow, oh my God, they really want this video thing.
Oh, yes, that one. I Believe in a Thing Called Love. I love that song and that video. It's epic. The dude, oh my God, yes, all of
I
that.
don't think
yes.
I ever saw that video.
I'm thinking
I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Oh, yeah, he goes super high. Oh, it's great.
a great place might be VO Atlanta to film this.
Oh,
We'll have people there.
Sing
Definitely.
backup for you.
Wow.
Just wait until you see my outfit on Saturday night with the wigs. It is epic. You will want pictures for sure. Yeah.
Mike, be sure to bring your spandex with you, if you would, please. Okay.
That's the only thing I wear on Saturdays, buddy.
Only you wear spandex.
Okay, everybody's jumping in. Reference to dodgeball. Okay, fine. Thanks, Tab. Nobody
Jim
likes
is
your
a boomer.
generation. Just kidding. Okay, cool. Anyhow, if you guys have questions for Jess, enough of this video thing. I'm sorry that I went on a tangent on Mike doing an 80s video, but I really think it'll be epic, and I think if we get him drunk enough, he'll do it for us. So
It's entirely possible. Anyway,
I'm sure there's going to be a karaoke machine there, too. So a bunch of wigs, karaoke machine, flashing lights. I think we could videotape something. Yeah.
oh God. Anyway. Jessica, how have you been since Mavo?
Good. Busy working
Yeah.
on a couple of shows, which has been great. So keeping my head down, doing my thing. So it's all good. Yeah.
Anything you can tell us about?
One of them just dropped on Hulu and Disney Plus. It's called Cooked. It's a movie about a night in a high pressure, high energy restaurant following a chef and all the drama and crap that he has to deal with for that night. And it's a really, really good show. Really well acted. My actors slayed it. And it just turned out really, really well done after all is said and done. Because I don't normally go back and watch the stuff that I've dubbed, the stuff I've directed. Because by that time I've seen it a million times, because I've seen it however many times for every person that's in the scene. So, but I went back just to kind of see, how does the mix sound? How does it all come together? And it's amazing. It sounds and looks great. So check it
Awesome.
out. Cooked. Disney
I think
Plus
my
and
wife was
Hulu.
talking about that, actually.
I'll have to check
She
it
loves
out.
that
You did
kind of
some
stuff.
work. You did some voice work in that too, as well. Did you not?
I think I did. There was a fun fact. There was a character that we had to rewrite the dialogue, and the actress had come in and gone, and we didn't want to bring her back in, so I literally went in and did a voice match for that character, and you can't tell the line that it's me at the very last word, so it's kind of cool.
Well done.
I know it. The engineer knows it, but nobody else knows. That's me. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
IMDb credits. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a toy for McDonald's in China, you could do the match voice for it. So let's talk about
Absolutely.
dubbing. Let's talk about
Yeah.
getting into dubbing. A lot of people like dubbing, and I think part of the reason is it's fun. Because you get to act more than you do with commercials, and I know that commercial coaches and everybody else is going to slay me for this or crucify me for saying this, but it's a different kind of acting. I love the audio dramas because of the acting. I love dubbing because of the acting. How does somebody bust into this? How does somebody that's in the business, get to do Cooked and have you not want them back and have you take their job from them?
Yeah, it's challenging. It's kind of hard, because the best way to do it is get in front of the people that are the decision makers, the people who are casting these dubs or directing these dubs. Because if you can get in front of a casting director and you knock their socks off with what you can do for an audition, for a scene, for a performance, whatever, they'll remember you and they'll think, oh yeah, let me put that person in for this role. Same thing with directors. A lot of dubbing directors also cast their own projects, and so they'll tap into their own talent roster. They'll talk with other directors if they need something very specific. They're like, hey,
Right.
I'm looking for this voice that has this whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, I got you. So we swap people all the time, recommend people all the time. So I'd say get in front of those people that make the decisions, because that's going to be your best bet. And if you have an agent and you happen to get auditions, obviously that's another way. But auditions are kind of few and far between, because most of the time if you see an audition for a dub, it's going to be for a lead role, and you're not going to get much info on that audition. You're basically just going to get the scene, maybe a little bit about the character, maybe a little bit about the overall movie, show, whatever, and you just have to wing it and make strong choices and go for it. So
Right.
it's very challenging. So
Okay. We have a question here from.
The auditions don't go through agencies; they only go through directors and producers.
no, they go through both. Yeah, sometimes I'll send out auditions directly. Sometimes they'll come through agents if you've got an agent, or the casting director. It just depends on who's running the casting for each project, because it's different for each project. Sometimes it's the studios that are running it. Sometimes it's an outside casting director. Sometimes it's the actual dubbing director that's doing the casting. So it varies.
Cool. Chris has a question for us. Excuse me. From your experience / perspective, how different is dubbing from audio drama recording?
Very different,
Very different,
because
yeah.
audio drama, you're not necessarily matching to what you see on the video screen. Dubbing, you are. And so everything, by the time you walk into the booth as the actor, first of all, too, you know nothing. When you book a show, you know nothing about what you're doing. You're walking in totally blind. You haven't seen a script. You have nothing to prepare. You haven't watched anything. You don't know squat. So you are flying blind by the seat of your pants. But also, before it comes to the director and the actor, it's gone through the adaptation process, which is where someone who takes the original language that it's, let's say Spanish, for instance, into English,
Right.
it's already been translated. The adapter then goes in, syncs it all up, so the dialogue matches what we see the person speaking on screen, rewrites it accordingly so that it tries to match the lip flaps as close as possible. So by the time you come in, it's timed out perfectly, and then it's your job to perform what you see reading on the Rhythmoband. So that's night and day compared to an audio drama, because you're kind of creating the scene and you can milk it and you could take your time, you could do whatever. There's no time constraints necessarily with an audio drama, but dubbing, massive time constraints.
Now, you mentioned something called a Rhythmoband. I know what it is. Mike does. So does Terry. For people that don't, what's a Rhythmoband?
It's, if you will, think of karaoke. It's the voice cue is the software that the majority of studios use, but there's a few others out there that people use. But it's basically this long band, colored band with the dialogue that's scrolling by, very much like karaoke. And so when it hits this red line, the dialogue's scrolling along. When it hits that red line, that's when you start talking. Sometimes you might hear a 3 beeps. There's that method as well. I tend to not use the 3 beeps. I just wait for the dialogue to hit that red line, and then you go. Right. And then by the time the line is past the red line, you better be stopped. You better be finished saying that line, because otherwise their mouth has stopped moving. So your mouth better stop moving. So that's a Rhythmoband. It's basically the band that has the dialogue that's scrolling by on the screen.
So obviously you would let the actors see what's happening first, kind of walk through it first, get the feel of what the mode is and the mood.
Yeah.
And there's also cues that are in that Rhythmoband too, like inhale, exhale, closed mouth sigh.
Yep.
So you have to learn those as well, and they come flying by pretty quick too. So it's definitely a skill set.
They do.
It really does.
It's very challenging, because it's basically the skill of looking at the video, watching what they're doing on screen, how far away they are from the other person, but then also moving your eyes up and down, because you're reading this thing going by super fast, and then looking up to see, what are they doing? Oh, was that a big open laugh, like ha ha ha, or was it a sounds different? But we have to do that because a ha 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 is going to sound funny when it's going it looks weird, it sounds funny, so we have to match that weird lip flap kind of thing and what they're doing physically. And like you said, any vocal reactions, laughing, sniffing, crying, coughing, a throat clear, grunting, screaming, all of that is going to be on that Rhythmoband, and it's going to be flying by super fast, so we got to catch it.
And after all that, you still have to act and have the tone of the scene. So it is a job. It really is. Tony has a question for us here. What are you seeing in terms of shifts in the industry for dubbing in 2025 and forward? Is there projected growth?
They keep saying there is, but I don't know. I'm still waiting to see it. Last year and the year before were super slow after the strike, especially
Right.
because a lot of these dubs technically are union. There are some non-union dubs out there, but the ones I mostly work on are usually union. And so, yeah, just work kind of slowed up the last couple of years, but there's been this influx, if you will, and more things getting on the docket. So I think this might be a little bit busier year than last year. Where it's going is anybody's guess. I have no clue because there's so much content out there. There's so much stuff that these places can purchase and bring to the U.S.
Right.
But it's just a matter of, is there the demand for it? So watch those foreign, watch those English dubs, watch those foreign shows so that there's an audience, because if there's the demand for it, then these places, they will pull them out and make them English dubs. And that means more work for everybody. So
Cool.
yeah.
Mike, you had a question.
Yeah, so you had mentioned about voice matching earlier. Is that, like, how do you get into that particular aspect of this? Is that just something that, somebody happens to notice you sound like somebody and now hey, do a voice match for this person? Or is there someone you can go to learn how to do that? Or, how does that work?
Great question. There's actually two kinds of voice match. There's like the celebrity voice match where we need you to sound like George Clooney because he doesn't want to come in and do this ADR session. So we need to sound alike. That's different because most of that usually will end up coming through an audition. Other voice matches, if you're trying to maybe match a actor that is no longer available, maybe they were in season 1 or they recast or whatever, and so they need the actor to sound as close as possible to that original actor, again, is probably going to be going through auditions to kind of cull through and see who sounds most like that person. In what I did in that situation, I had another actor do the same thing for another male character, and I just thought, you've got the same kind of tone and timbre. I think you could probably do it. Let's go for it and give it a shot. And he did it, and it sounded great. Again, can't tell from one to the other. Perfect, seamless, awesome. So it varies, but a lot of like actual sound-alike voice matches that are very, very specific to a certain character or celebrity will usually come through via an audition process.
Cool.
Yeah.
I do know that if you're looking to do something like that, Mike, Jordan Reynolds has a course that he does at a lot of the conferences and sometimes offers, we should get him on a workshop doing it, a voice matching demo, a voice matching workshop. I did it with him back in when I was in Switzerland with Jay Michael. I took it, and I was doing Harrison Ford, and he actually teaches you how to get to that, to get up there. So when it comes to dubbing, and you mentioned union, some union. Now, dubbing is a good way to, or I don't want to say easy way, but a viable way to get your card, to get your union card, to be Taft-Hartley'd in. A lot of these jobs, they are union, and it seems like they're willing to Taft-Hartley people for the gigs. True?
I think so, yeah. I think depending on the producer, depending on the director and the studio, yes. And if it's something you're very interested in making happen, absolutely make that known and see what you can do. Grease the wheels however you can by talking to the players involved. But most often, yeah, I think most places are open to Taft-Hartling people to get them on the card.
Can you explain this?
Still need to get Mind the Lip Flaps on I think it's a play on Mind the Gap.
Okay.
When you're getting on a train. So Mind the Lip Flap. I'm taking it, Eric. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing that's what it is, and it's sort of a joke of, because we call it lip flaps of like matching the mouth movements. So
I thought it might have been an inside joke with you and Eric, so I wanted to check that out. So Tab has a question for us. Terry.
If there is an opportunity to go union, should you take it 100% of the time?
Oh, jeez.
I cannot answer that. That is a personal choice that you have to make and decide for yourself. I can't tell you because at the end of the day, you're the one who's bringing in the money and putting food on the table and a roof over your head. So if you feel like it's a good, wise choice to join the union and take advantage of whatever benefits or not that it offers, then if it makes sense for you, then go for it. If it doesn't, then don't. I can't make that choice for you. That's your call.
Okay, well, evidently I was in the room at the time with Eric when you mentioned the T-shirt about lip flaps, but must have been the gummies for me and maybe the margaritas for you. Who knows? I don't know. It's those damn, what were they? Huevos Rancheros? Is that what it is, Terry?
Yeah.
It's all about the Huevos Rancheros.
Huevos
Always both the
Rancheros.
Huevos. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah.
We have a double.
The Jim Frank story.
It will be. You'll see. It's a double language question for you. So we're going to stick here with some language questions. Terry first.
Okay.
No, it's the same question, so let's ask Eric's.
Is it though?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, it is. Oh God.
Difficult to dub.
He just used more words. Is there a particular language or genre that is more challenging to adapt than others?
Well, adapting and dubbing are two different things. Adapting, they're all hard because you're taking a different language and making it make sense in English and also trying to match the amount of lip flaps. So, for example, France and Spain or Mexico, they speak Speedy Gonzales. They speak so many words and they speak so fast. And so what takes them 10 words to say, we might say it in 5. But we got to add all that extra words to make it the length work, to make the lip flaps work. So it's an extra bit of work to make the adaptation work. Dubbing, on the other hand, languages, I would say the ones that I find more challenging are the Korean, the Japanese, because they don't move their mouth at all. They just talk like this and you can't say anything. And like, what are you saying? Oh my God. And so it's really, really challenging because especially like, oh my gosh, try saying happy birthday. And they're like, like, what? There's just no movement. So it's very,
like,
very challenging. Yeah, or it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's either there's no movement at all, or it's like, oh God, like seriously.
It's like those bad
okay.
It's like those bad
You all
kung
did
fu
a show.
movies. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We did a show where
yeah.
it was Greek. It was Greek to English, and that was. was
Yeah,
quite
but
the challenge.
it was Greek
Yeah.
translated by people in I think Portugal,
Oh,
Russia.
wait, was it?
Yeah, it was somewhere. It was a Latin speaking country over across the seas, and then it was through a Mexican dubbing. Yeah, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
By the time we got it,
Wow.
we were rewriting as we went. You know,
Russian
Yeah.
people speaking Greek translated by Mexicans.
Translated
We're
by
like,
Mexicans
what the heck?
for English.
it was Ukrainian. It was Ukrainian.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, it was
And
Ukrainian.
we were like,
you're right.
what is happening here? And we'd have to rewrite the whole script while we were doing it because it just, they'd be talking for half an hour and you'd have like, yeah, that's right.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can only imagine the insanity of it all. I mean, I would hate to be the person that has to try to put the words that I'm going to say in the space to say it and still get the same meaning of what the other person was saying with a different language. That must be a tough job.
Yeah.
So-
It's very
Let me
tough.
ask you something
Very challenging.
very, very specific. When you have a character that might have a speech quirk, how do you work with that? Like, say someone has a stutter. Have you ever had to deal with that?
I have actually. There's a show on Disney called Moving. It's a Korean drama, great show. But there's a character who has a stutter, and it was a very fine line because it wasn't that he was like disabled or anything like that or stupid, nothing like that. He just had this stutter, and so it was trying to pull that performance. And he was a very endearing character, so we didn't want to make him look like he was less than. He was perfectly normal. Like he was great. He was a good character. So to try to convey that, and we found an actor who slayed it. He did it perfectly, but it was a little bit of trial and error. And again, as an actor, you're coming into these blind. You don't know anything. So it takes a minute to find the character, to find the voice of the character and kind of settle in and get grounded in it. And so even though we might spend, the first half hour of the session, like starting at scene 1 and going through, by the time we're maybe 30 minutes in, I feel like, okay, we've got a handle on this character. You're getting comfortable with them. Okay, it sounds great. I think we're in a good spot. Let's go back to the top and re-record, because now that you're grounded, it's going to sound better and seamless, because now we're on the same page. We're like locked into the character. So, yeah, it's just a lot of practice, trial and error, and seeing what works, and collaborating with the actor as well, seeing what works for them, what they're willing to do.
All right. A man who needs a demo for every genre has a question. Steve Ward. As I imagine there is no demo to make for this genre, how does one break into this genre? Get seen. Representation. Steve, if you were on time, you would have heard this question answered earlier. Watch the replay. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Give him a quick recap. Recap, if you would.
The quick recap is get behind the decision makers who are doing the hiring, whether it's a casting director or a dubbing director or producer, because they're the ones, when you get in front of them, they'll see your talent, they'll see how your voice sounds, what you might be cast for. And again, also keep in mind, live action dubbing specifically, we're looking for real, authentic, grounded performances and voices. We're not looking for characters. We're not looking for the gritty, evil villain. No. Think cinema, think TV, think movies. We are thinking theatrical, real, grounded, authentic voices. So as far as demos go, yeah, I'm going to your commercial demo and listening to that, because that's going to give me a sense of, at some point on there's going to be some spot that sounds like the real natural you, but it's also going to give me a range of what you sound like in other characteristics or personalities. If you've got a video game demo or another demo, I might click on that just to hear what else you can do. Probably not, because I don't have a lot of time. I'm sticking with the commercial demo. The people that do have demo reels, it's usually their actual work that they've compiled and put together kind of as a showcase to offer for new directors or new producers that they haven't worked with, and they're like, hey, look at me, here's my stuff, look what I did, I do this voice. And that's great, because this new producer or director might not have heard you do that voice, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could go, like, there's been a few times where I've had actors in and I'm throwing a couple of different voices at them. It's like, okay, I need you to do this waiter. I need you to do this cop. I need you to do this police officer. And they are switching it up on a dime and changing their tone and voice. I'm like, oh my God, like, you're really versatile. I did not know that. That is amazing. So the more versatile you can be with your voice and tone and characters, not character-y, but personality and tone and vocal tone, the more you will be able to be versatile, and you will have you do a plethora of characters, and
So
you
I
get
should-
to do a lot of stuff.
I should listen to the voices in my head and imitate them.
You're already not. You
could.
are already
Awesome.
enough of a character.
Eric Carlino has another suggestion. You could be annoying in the chat of a web show. this web show.
Worked for
That's
some.
what
It
he's saying.
has worked for some, Eric.
It really has, Eric, for some of us. Speaking of getting in front. Oh yeah, Steph.
Sorry.
Speaking of getting in front of casting directors, you'd be one of those. You're going to VO Atlanta. Let's talk about what's happening in VO Atlanta with you.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well throw a couple plugs out there. Why not?
Absolutely. So Friday afternoon, I believe at 1 p.m., I will be on the directors panel with several other casting directors and voice directors. So that'll be that. And then Saturday morning, I believe 10, I'm doing a breakout session specifically on dubbing. So you can be there and learn more about it, ask me anything. I'm happy to answer questions and whatnot, but I kind of give like a big overview of the whole process of dubbing and answer everybody's burning questions that everybody wants to know. How do I get into it? What do I do? Do you do remote sessions? Blah, blah, blah.
Can I buy you a coffee
It's
and
good.
we can talk? Yeah. Are you doing an X
Yeah.
session too? One of the 3 hour?
I am not.
You're not doing an X session. Okay, cool.
Nope.
Listen, if you'd like to work with Jessica, if you'd like to train with Jessica, this is where I throw a plug in because we were going to have her next month, but because of scheduling situations, we had to postpone. But we have Jessica for a TMI workshop, only $139 for a participant. All the money made, as you guys know, goes back to funding this program and our whole project that we do throughout the year, all the giveaways. That's happening in August. It's August 13th. Providing that she doesn't get some kind of huge deal from Netflix and takes me as a lead and Terry and Mike is back up. We'll be there for... Hello.
I'll take it. I don't know. I have no pride.
I'll buy her coffee on set. I don't really care. Give me my green
How can
card.
I bribe you for a backup role?
But anyhow, it's...
Margaritas. No, just
I'm
kidding.
bringing
Kidding,
tequila
kidding.
I'm bringing tequila to Atlanta. I was going to bring just
She's gonna
whiskey.
be sitting there, there's 15 margaritas sitting around her, just a bunch of sycophants. Like, oh, hey, hi. Oh, I heard you like margaritas.
Only the blue ones are hers.
Bring the carousel. We're going blue.
Oh, my God.
Anyhow, it's August 13th. It is limited. I think we only have 10 tickets available. And I know Terry and Mike want to go, so it's probably going to only be 8 tickets available. So get there while you can. TheMicrophoneInsider.com. I know it's not till August, but these tickets will sell out. And if you want to do dubbing, this is the way to, at least get in front of somebody to see if you have what it takes and to learn the business. So check it out. We have more questions here. So let me find here. Mike, if you would.
Sure. From Tony, if you could pick up and move into a different area of VO and be relatively at the same level of success or higher, well, would you?
Is this a question to
No.
Jessica personally?
I
don't
know. Yeah. If you could be as good
in
as
a
you are in
different
this
area.
field in a different area of VO, would you do that?
If I could still do dubbing, then sure, why not? I mean, best of both worlds. Why not both and? Like, why limit myself?
So if you had to choose, you would rather be, if you had to pick one, you would rather be a dubbing director as opposed to a dubbing casting agent, a dubbing casting director? You'd rather be like a dubbing voice director?
I'd rather direct. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never met a woman that didn't want to tell me what to do. Perfect. All right.
Exactly. And I love that. I love it.
Oh, here we go. Chris is starting already.
Chris, see, I actually take the bribes for her, and then you can bribe me to then, in turn.
Right.
I will.
I do like a good gin and tonic, FYI. So there's that too.
Okay. Good.
Yes. You know.
Come on,
All right.
man.
And if somebody were to
Is there
bring
any other kind?
if somebody were to bring a bottle of tequila down there, what kind would they want to bring? I like Patron personally, or Esplanade. You don't care?
I don't know. Actually, when I was on, I did the VO cruise with Bob Bergen. I wasn't like a student or anything, but I was there like supporting all of them. And we got off the boat at Mazatlan and we did a tequila factory tour. And it was sort of like zip lining and then a tequila factory tour, which is weird.
That's
and
the right
cool at
order
the
to
same
do
time.
it, by the
That's
way.
definitely the
Yeah,
right
you
order.
don't want to do the
100%,
tour. Yeah, okay.
Because we got to do all the tastings and everything of the tequila, but they had flavored tequila and there was cinnamon tequila and it was so delicious. So good. They had like Blanco, Silver, Reposado, cinnamon, and then a coconut one that literally tasted like coconut water. I mean, talk about dangerous liqueur.
Gin and
but
coconut
it was
water.
delicious.
Gin and coconut
Yeah.
water. All right, cool. Eric says he'll buy you freaking Starbucks. That's a commitment, dude. That's a house payment. Jesus Christ.
Man.
Tab, it's going to be your birthday at VO Atlanta?
It's going to be my birthday, but I mean, I might be turning 33.
Oh. All right, cool. Andrew, one of our Ward brothers, and Steve, I'm sorry I harped on you being late. By all means, ask your questions. We do like your questions. I know I give you a hard time, but it's just too easy not to. So if I promise to be nice for the next 17 minutes, would you ask more questions, Steve? Because I know you have them. Question from Mike. Does shaving your legs somehow help you feel more grounded in the work?
In fact, it does not. It makes me more aerodynamic. So I increase my 40 time by about 0.2 seconds every time I shave my legs. The real gains, though, happen when I, like, we said we tie down the beard. Now, if you shave only above the knees, right, you can actually I can attach fins on the bottom there. And that helps with a little bit of the drag.
And that's the reason why Mike doesn't get into audiobooks, because you have to go for the full Brazilian. And he's just not up for that. So
yeah.
I'm glad somebody made a comment. I've been changing these things throughout the day a little bit, but Mike's used to say shaves his legs. Yeah, but now.
Yeah, well, I like that. I never even noticed those.
Yeah, Terrence, you have a question? Don't call me
I don't know
Terrence.
who that is. I want to know, what is more important when you have to replace an actor? Is it matching the acting or the voice?
Usually it's the acting. Usually it's because the person isn't getting it. They're not getting the gist of the character. They're not getting the essence of the character. Or maybe they're just having a really hard time struggling with the rhythm band, or it's just like taking way too long to get them there. And because dubbing is fast, it goes really fast. We got to move. We don't have time. We don't have the luxury of a million do-overs. Literally like 2 takes, maybe 3, and we're moving on. Once we got it, we're going. So we don't have the luxury of time. So if you're not getting up to speed real quick and you're not grasping the character, or you're not taking direction very well and you're just kind of doing the same read over and over, that's not going to fly. So, I would say more on the performance side of the acting versus the voice isn't right. Because I either know the person, so I know what their voice sounds like, so I know that they're going to be okay, or maybe they got in and they just sounded a little bit different than what I remembered, or maybe their demo was outdated or something. I actually had that happen on a minor, having to cast a minor, like a kid, listen to their demo, and I thought, oh yeah, he sounds about that age range. It was like maybe 10, 11 years old. And I happened to see him and his dad come into the studio the day before for another session. And he's like, oh, this is my son. He's going to work with you tomorrow. And I look at him like, oh,
hello, Jessica. My voice has changed.
Yeah, it was. He was. That's exactly right, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be good. So he came in. We did a couple of scenes. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work, and I felt so bad. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, kind of is, like, update your damn demo, but it's not his fault. You know, you grow. Your voice changed. Like, he can't help that. But yeah, I had to recast that with a different actor that sounded 10, not 16. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, if you're on the Steve Ward plan, Jessica Blue is our guest. She is the dubbing queen. You have any questions for Jessica, please put them in the chat, and we'll get to them if you'd be so kind. I have a question. What made you think about this as a career? Like, how did you get into doing what you do?
I fell into it. I literally was
hurt?
asked by my friend. No,
Okay.
Actually, it was really fun to fall into it. And I'm self-taught, by the way, FYI. I got a call from a dear friend of mine who's a voice director, and he told me, I need your help. Can you please come work with me on this dubbing session that I'm going to be directing? You're very organized and detail oriented, and I need you to keep track of the takes and all this stuff. And it's new software, and we just have to, like, figure this out together. And I'm like, okay, sure. So basically learned voice cue, learned how to work with that, learned how to, I'd be watching this screen, he'd be watching that screen, we'd be watching for our lip flaps and everything. And so I really fine-tune my director's ear, watching him work and direct these actors, and seeing what works and what didn't. And we did about 5 movies together, I want to say.
Cool.
And then he ended up recommending me to another studio because it's like, oh, you're fine, you're good to direct, you can do this, I believe in you, you're good. I'm like, oh my god, okay, really? Okay, awesome. So I went with it, and I loved it. I absolutely love directing. And so
Right.
And I also taught myself how to adapt as well. So I adapt and direct, which I think makes for a really more efficient director, because
Correct.
they can do both and they know how to do both, and I can rewrite stuff on the fly like easy peasy. So yeah, I pretty much fell into it and taught myself how to do everything.
Jessica, you're a natural. We're going to make you a directing star.
You're gonna be a star.
You're going to be huge, kid. We're going to have a color named after you and everything. Mike Cunningham has a question for us.
So, in an average year, roughly how many full productions can you get through? Like, how long does it take you, soup to nuts, to get through an entire series or movie, as it were?
Great question. It depends on the product or the project. Movies, if they're an hour and a half or 2 hours, it usually takes about anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to do a movie. Series is different because it also depends on how many episodes you're dealing with. If it's 6 to 8 episodes, that could be 2-3 months. If it's longer than that, it could be 6 months. And oftentimes, unfortunately, when we do these projects, when it's a series, an episodic, we don't necessarily get all the episodes at the same time. So we might be directing in a vacuum, and I might only have seen the first 5 episodes, and I'm not getting the second half of the show until like 2 months after, or 2 months later. So there might be a hiatus, but it's screwy because I don't know what happens to these characters, and I might have cast someone who I thought was an incidental turns into like being a huge main character. I'm like, I might not have cast you if I knew that you had all this dialogue to cover. So, or vice versa. Someone might get killed off in the second episode, and I thought that they were going to go the whole distance. So it's crazy that that's just par for the course of some of the challenges that we as directors have to deal with. And that's one of the biggest challenges, I'd say, as a director, is having to deal with that, is direct in a vacuum of like, I don't know what happens to your character. I think this will work, but we're going to find out. I don't know.
Wait a minute. He speaks Russian the whole time? Damn it.
That leads me to a different question. Kind of along those lines. Is everything that you do, are you doing anything that is currently running, like simultaneously, or is everything that you're doing a series that they've already completed the season for?
So you're saying if something's live in Korea right now and we're dubbing it like a week or two behind what they're releasing, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
It depends on the studio and their release dates. I've had shows where we're not even finished with an episode and they're already releasing the episode before. So it's like going on live. So we're still recording and the show's like airing as we're recording it. I remember No Gain, No Love on Amazon. We were literally still recording and they had already streaming episode 1 and 2. And I remember having to go back and do pickups on those episodes.
Wow.
They were already airing and somehow they fit them in and fix them. And I'm like, how did they do that? Oh my God. But that happens. Other times it might be that they had bought the rights to a show from whatever country, and maybe it hasn't been released there yet, but they release it simultaneously, both everywhere, both the original and the dub. And then there's other times where they'll find an old show that's like been out for a while and they just decided, oh, this looks like a cool thing, let's dub this. And so obviously the original has been out for a while or whatever, and so now they want to dub it, and so then they'll release it here. And then there's also times where we'll get a dub and we'll do the whole thing, we'll dub it, we'll record it, everything's great, and then they never release it ever, which sucks. But
I'm getting something in my ear here. Hold on. I'm being told that Stephanie and Steve missed out.
If Terry can cook and you can too, his friends are his reason to bring food to you. Chef Briscoe Power, bringing dinner to yours and mine.
And now back to our regular broadcast.
I fucking hate
that's
you.
fantastic.
I want you to
That's fantastic.
in my soul.
Speaking of Steve Ward,
untold.
Steve has a question. When direct marketing to ones like yourself, do you prefer a character, commercial demo, or a link to a website? Or do you prefer a link to a website or an attachment? And I think we already discussed you prefer the commercial demo is what you listen to.
Yeah. I've primarily listened to a commercial. If you want to attach the commercial, that's great. If you want to give me a link to your website, that's great too. I usually will click on the link and go check you out. I stalk you, research you to learn about you, where you're at.
Honestly, officer, I was doing research, officer, I swear.
It's all on the up and up, I swear.
It's a fine line between stalking and love. I know. Okay.
But yeah, give me if you've got a website, give me a link to your website. Also, I will say this: if you do have a website and you speak other languages and or you sing or rap, make sure that's on your website, because that's going to give you a little oomph leg up if I know you can do a certain skill set, because
Steve
there's
speaks
often
Spanish,
times where we have to speak in that language, we have to sing in English or rap in English or whatever. So if I know that you have those skill sets, that's going to just help tremendously. So make sure you add that to your website if you can.
Jessica Blues, she's a casting director. Don't send her your tape because shit will wreck you.
No.
Somebody
All right,
record
fine.
that shit.
All
They'll play
right.
every fucking week.
Don't make me
hook.
press the button again, Mike. Here it goes. Ah!
Terry can cook again, you can too. His friends are his reason to bring food to you.
No one wants this. No one.
Chef Briscoe Power, bringing
literally
dinner
hate
to
you.
yours and mine.
I'm going to get you for this.
Mine. See, it's just catching on. She's like, mine. DF has a
catchy.
question,
I'm sorry.
Mike, if you would.
The fucking raisin, DF. Hey, he says, is there a lifelong dream project still on your to-do list, or have you already scratched it off your books?
I would love to do an animated, direct an animated movie, like a Pixar or a Disney. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, cool.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be great.
Very cool.
Or even a animated series, a show. That'd be cool too.
Speaking of directing and things and projects, Eric wants to know, you have any projects coming up? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I'm starting a new production in a couple of weeks, which I can't talk about. And then I just had Cooked come out on Hulu and Disney Plus, and before that, No Gain, No Love on Amazon. So, and there's also on Netflix, Crooks is another really good one. That was a great show too.
All right. We're getting close to the top of the hour, but I have a couple more questions here that I definitely want to get to. So, Terry, if you would.
Bring it.
This is from Christoph. If you are cast to dub the voice of an up-and-coming foreign character, are you likely to get future roles based on the roles that the actor gets?
Sometimes it just depends on your availability and who the project is going to, because a lot of times too, I've actually had shows where I've seen the same original actor, but they're a totally different character. So even though this one voice actor was cast to cover this woman in that show, she's a totally different character in this other show, and it might not jive. Like this one was very comedic and this one's super dramatic. So on that sense, might not. On the other hand, you might do it if it's the similar character, similar personality. But again, if it's a different studio, they're not necessarily going to know that you did that specific actor before in another show, because we're not looking at that person's IMDb and looking back to see like who dubbed stuff. So probably not.
Tony wants to know, can you discuss the pay structure for dubbing sessions? And do you have to kill us afterwards if you do?
No, I don't. Well, again, if it's yeah, right. If it's non-union, it's the Wild West. It could be whatever rate the studio, the direct, whoever decides. So, and it's going to be very low if it's non-union. Union, they have what's called the Netflix agreement. It's a tiered structure to where it's a 2-hour minimum, and I believe it's like $280 for the 2 hours total. It's like 60 something or 7, I think, per hour. I don't remember the exact figures, but you can go to the SAG-AFTRA website and they have it there. But even if your session is the full 2 hours, or 15 minutes or 5 minutes, you're still going to get however much that 2-hour session charges. You get that no matter what. If it goes into 3 hours or 4 hours, it's then like half of that for every hour after that. So it's not super lucrative unless you book a lead. Then it could be very lucrative because we're talking multiple sessions, multiple days, multiple weeks. So that's the goal, is to land a lead role, because that's where the actual money is. Incidentals, not so much, because again, it's not like in animation where after so many voices that you do, you get extra money, I think. But I could have you do 2 voices. I could have you do 15 voices. You're still getting paid the same amount of money.
Gotcha. Stephanie wants to know, how is the market for a person of a certain age in the dubbing world?
It's same as any age, honestly. It's literally just a matter of who the characters are in a project and how many voices fit that character. I'm looking for someone who can bring that character to life, sound like the face that I'm looking on the screen. Like, I need to believe that your voice is coming out of that person's face. If I don't, it's not going to fly. So it's not so much that I need an exact voice match of the original actor. I just need to believe that I know you can bring that character to life and bring the performance necessary for that character, and that I believe your voice coming out of their face works. So it's anybody's guess. It goes for anybody. It's the same as anybody.
All right. It has been an hour, but we have one more question that I think I need to fucking say it like this, because if I didn't, I'd be shit. If the VO talent isn't keen on cursing, are euphemisms freaking acceptable, or does the fucking director prefer if you freaking curse, you fucking moron? Steve, be nice about it, will you, dude? Jesus.
I fucking love this question, because I swear like a sailor. I love the F word. It's my favorite. I also like the C word too, but I'm not going to say that because I know it might offend people, but that's also my favorite.
Charlie?
No.
Cody?
Yeah. If you,
I can't believe it.
If you have an issue with profanity, maybe you're very religious, or you get take offense to that, dubbing might not be the thing for you, because again, we need to match the tone, match the intensity, and match how these characters speak. So if they're dropping F-bombs here and there, we're going to be dropping F-bombs here and there. And we can't, it's funny, I had one student of mine, she was doing the scene and everything, and in the scene, it said the word shit. Like, you're full of shit. And I guess she didn't want to say that. She took offense to it. And so she's changed it to, you're full of crap. Well, that sounds great and all.
But
problem
shit.
is, shit, it, and crap. It's different ending, and it's not going to... And so the adapter has already gone through and painstakingly matched those lip flaps to those exact words. So we can't go and necessarily change stuff willy-nilly just because we take offense to it. It's written the way that it's written because someone took the time to go through and match the lip flaps and everything. So you either got to get a thick skin, suck it up, or don't do it. But I love that question.
Well, you could do kids. You could do kids shows if that's available to you.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. If they don't swear in kids show, but yeah, I mean, yeah. But
I'd like to thank
that's the other problem too. Is like, again, you don't know what you're walking into. So again, I mean, the only time I will say this is if there's maybe some very sexually explicit, really triggering scenes, like maybe there's a really bad rape scene or a really bad murder or something, we're absolutely going to let the actors know that's, are you okay with this? Or maybe it's a horror or whatever. We're going to make sure that the actor knows, are you cool with this? Because this is going to be a lot for you. And we get it. It's totally cool if you don't want to do this. That's great. We'll find someone else. But more often than not, it's only going to be those major things that we'll reach out and let people know. But random swearing and whatnot, no, it's going to be an everyday fucking occurrence that we just got to fucking deal with.
Every fucking director that I'm friends with fucking swears like a truck driver. I'm just saying it right now.
I don't know what the fuck
all
is up
over
with
the
them,
place.
honestly.
I mean, the shit that comes out of
I
their
don't
fucking
fucking get
mouths.
it.
These motherfuckers just
Jesus
curse like a
Christ.
goddamn piece of shit all the fucking time.
I'm going to have to do a lot of editing. Oh, fuck, we're live.
Oh shit!
Oh, shit. Yeah. Can I say shit? Anyhow,
Holy gee willikers!
welcome to the show, guys. I want to thank the Reverend Steve Ward for his question. Thank you, Reverend. There's an altar boy waiting for you. Listen, we gotta go. We're over. This has gone by so fast. I'll hang out another hour if you want. I don't care. So
This is
it's
fun.
up to you. Be sure to join us in Atlanta. Jessica will be there. Terry will be there. I'll be there.
Yes.
Mike will be there. Rebecca will be there. In theory, and also Tabitha will be there. Space Camp jumpsuit.
My.
It's her birthday, so join us as we all do shots of tequila in honor of
Oh my God,
Jessica's
we're gonna
birthday.
get fucking drunk.
We're gonna get racked.
Ooh, I got a gin for you before we leave, Jessica. Blue Coat Gin. I know you like Hendrix. Check out Blue Coat Gin. It's fantastic.
I'm writing it down.
You already have her
Coat.
interest peaked right now. The word "blues" in it. She's like,
I'm a man who
Ser-
knows
hello.
blues.
hello.
I like it. All right.
Well, speaking of,
I'll
have you
check it
tried?
out. Thank you.
Have you tried Blue Tarantula tequila? It's a good sip. It's a good sip in tequila. Oh yeah, Blue
I like all these
Tarantula.
blue names.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
We'll
How about
toss
that
them out
blue
there.
Tequila.
meth? Have you tried that?
What's that?
Tequila.
The blue meth?
What?
The blue meth?
Oh yeah,
Have you tried the blue meth, Mr. White?
yeah.
Jess, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast. I cannot wait to
Thank
see.
you.
Can't wait to see you put them on 2 weeks from now.
Whoa.
No, put them. That's face.
I know. I was being stupid.
You were. You do it well. I appreciate that.
Well,
We're never going to get out of this show, are we? We're going to be in this loop
I
forever,
love
aren't we?
it.
You know? What the hell? Before we go, have a good night, guys.
Freaking good
Yes!
again, you can too. His friends are his reasons and he brings food to you.
Everybody! Chef Briscoe Power!
Go power.
To yours and mine!
Mine. Yours and mine.
holy shit. I want to like it, but it's just so hard.
You know, you're the only
good.
one that doesn't like it. I don't know
It's
anybody else that I know. Oh, DF Raisin's going to be there in Atlanta. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a party like that. All right, cool. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a good week. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Jessica, thank you so much. We'll see you soon as well. If you want to check out Jessica,
Great.
go to jessicablue.com. And remember, she's going to be on a TMI workshop in August. Get your tickets now. They are on sale. There's only like 8 tickets available, so grab them while you can, okay? Jess, thank you so
should.
much. You are
Thank
by
you.
far
Thanks for having me.
you are by far the best fucking dubbing director I fucking know.
Go.
I gotta
Fuck
figure out-
yeah.
Oh man, oh man.
fuck.
All right. Jess. Gotta love if you want to hang in the green room, Jess, we'll be done in about 2 minutes. We'll come back and talk. Hey guys, like we said, come back. We'll be back 2 weeks in theory, sometime over the weekend. We're gonna try to broadcast live from Atlanta. We have
figure it out.
Yeah, I think we'll figure it out. It may not be the exact same setup. It might be a Zoom thing. Who knows? But we'll figure it out, okay? I can put Zoom on YouTube too, so we'll figure something out. It'll work. Anyhow, thanks for joining us. Mike, thank you so much. Terry, thank you for being Rebecca. And you wear it well.
Best job I've ever
almost
had.
as pretty. I mean,
Yeah, watch out. Dorian might be calling you soon, my friend.
we got to do a